Mister The Prequels presents The Prequels. And we're talking about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Written and directed by George Lucas. An all-time epic masterpiece. And I'm speaking, of course, from the subjective point of view. Man, I'm talking about my own opinion. I love this movie. I loved it when I first saw it in 1999, and I loved it when I saw it again in 2024, just a couple of weeks ago. This movie not only holds up, it gets better with age. Special effects hold up. These special effects get better with age. Ahmed Best, better with age. Jake Lloyd, man, come on. This kid deserves an Oscar for Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Yes, come on, man. This is not overreaching. It's not hyperbole. Jake Lloyd deserves an Oscar for his performance of Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Written and directed by George Lucas. Producer Rick McCallum. Executive producer George Lucas. 10 out of 10, baby. Yeah. So, while we're on the subject, Ahmed Best looks better than ever. And he deserves an Oscar for this. Yeah, in my opinion. And so does George Lucas, man. Look at this. George Lucas deserves an Oscar for direction. Best director. George Lucas for Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Yeah, that's my opinion. That's my subjective opinion based on this objective fact. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace is freaking awesome, man! Yeah, based on that. Here's an objective fact. Here's a piece of objectivity for you. The Phantom Menace is freaking awesome. So, yeah, you might have a different opinion. Maybe you didn't like Jar Jar Binks. So what? A lot of people liked him. A lot of people loved him. I loved him. And it might not be for you, and that's fine. Not everybody's going to be into the same thing. Man, I just happen to love Jar Jar. I love that character, and I'll keep watching this movie every way I can, and every platform I can get it. From the opening title crawl to the end of the final credits. Oh, by the way, this is Mister The Prequels presents The Prequels. And we're talking about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Written and directed by George Lucas. Yes, this is a master class in how to make a movie that's not like any other movie you ever made or that ever was made, but that also is going to be the gold standard and template for how to make movies every day after or every time after. Look, man, take a look at Hollywood there. All they're doing is imitating Jar Jar Binks. All they're doing is imitating the prequels, starting with Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Yes, this is an epic masterpiece. And George Lucas deserves an Oscar for directing Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Yeah. Written and directed by George Lucas. Produced by Rick McCallum. Executive producer George Lucas. Yeah. And Jake Lloyd deserves an Oscar. I dare say maybe possibly Natalie Portman deserves an Oscar. Man, this movie's Oscar winning in every category, no matter how you slice it, no matter where you cut it. Lights, camera, action. From the music, John Williams. Man, this guy's off the charts. At top of his game, man. Come on. Duel of the Fates. Top of his game. So, if you're into this type of thing, you're going to love Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. That is to say, if you're into this kind of thing, just go with me. Misa called Jar Jar Binks. Yeah. Demented by the gods it is. Yeah, that's Jar Jar for you. But yet he's also a thoughtful character, and one that has some of the most individual agency ever created on the screen, especially in Star Wars. I mean, this guy is not only is he starts out, here's the story of Jar Jar. He starts out as a clumsy, annoying oaf, so to speak. And then he, through a series of events, he becomes a trusted friend, a good friend, and a trusted ally, and then he becomes a needed resource and a needed supporter of this band of resistors that are fighting against the evil, as we shall now see them, the greedy Trade Federation. And he becomes the hero of the war, or this battle on Naboo, rather, not the war, but the Battle of Naboo. And he is the key to this whole thing. And he goes from being a bumbling oaf, doesn't know why he's there, confused, an outcast, marginalized, to be punished, to a general, respected in the Gungan race, a part of their society. And he brings two societies together. And this is quite a story that we see in the development of this character, Jar Jar, who, in my opinion, may be one of the main characters of this movie. This is a movie unlike any other movie. You've never seen a movie like it. 25 years later, Star Wars Episode 1 holds up, man. 10 out of 10, baby. Yeah, this movie holds up. We're going to be taking a look at all the characters. We're going to be breaking them down. But just to start, man, you got to look at Jar Jar. We've been doing an in-depth breakdown, analysis, critique of this character, Jar Jar Binks. George Lucas, man, this guy, take a look at it. He's showing him how to walk. I bet you he even told Ahmed Best how to talk, sound like Jar Jar Binks. Well, that's George Lucas for you. And he is the master. He's the creator of this universe. And if you can see it in the books, man, look, we've written about it in the books. Go ahead and check out these books online. You can see the books online. You can find them at your bookstore, online bookstore, brick and mortar bookstore. We're talking about Star Wars, and especially the prequels. Because the prequels is where you really see what's going on in this universe. The original trilogy, now that's a good one, and it's freaking awesome. But if you really want to understand Star Wars, you need to get the prequels. And if you really want to understand the prequels, you need to understand the Phantom Menace. And if you really want to get the Phantom Menace, you need to get to Jar Jar. Because Jar Jar is the key to all of this. Yeah, he's the key to this whole thing, man. And if you can get Jar Jar, you can get the key. Or if you get the key, rather, which is Jar Jar, you'll get this whole thing. It is a movie for kids. It is a movie for all ages, kids and grown-ups alike. But if you can get this movie on the level of a kid, you're going to get this movie. If you get this movie as Jar Jar is your filter, your eyes, your ears, even vocalizing what you may be thinking and what every child may be thinking. He's the one that holds your hand along the way on this journey. Take a look, man. Watch it again. And this time, look at it with the mind of a child, if you can. Truly incredible, the mind of a child, as Jar Jar Binks is. And as Yoda, the master, the teacher, puts it in Attack of the Clones. But come on, man. If you really want to get Star Wars the way George has laid it out, according to the master, you need to get Jar Jar. And you need to get Jar Jar Binks, as the master has written this character. And friends, this is where it's at. Jar Jar is the key. The prequels is the best of Star Wars. George Lucas is the key to this whole thing. He's the master. Man, George Lucas is the creator. He's given us his creation. He's given us his approved version. And that is the specialized edition And then, of course, the finalized, specialized editions. And then, of course, the finalized, specialized editions of the prequel trilogy. And this is how the creator wants it. This is what the creator said. Keep it in mind, friends, the creator said this. It's going to be great. He actually said it's going to be great. And then remember, Steven said it's going to be great. And then the creator said it's going to be great. And then Steven said it's going to be great. And then the creator said it's going to be great. And then, of course, we know that it was great. And George Lucas did give us, as he felt, and he saw fit to finalize his creation. And if you didn't like it, fine. Go and make your own version of the creation that he's given us. And the creator's given us that permission. The creator's given his blessing for us to do that. You can take, and I can take, and we can take this creation that he's given us, and we can make our own versions of it. And the creator has given us his blessing to do that. But come on, man, if you didn't like the version the creator gave, make your own version. As far as I'm concerned, the version George gave us is the version, and that's the one I'm going with. And if I want to make my own version, I'm going to make my own version. And you can make your own version too. And in the meantime, dear friends, we have the version that the creator gave us. We are the stewards of this version, episodes 1 through 6. And then I would dare say the Clone Wars, the original. And then I would also say, to fill this universe out, the Clone Wars. And then later, of course, if you really want to have a good time, the holiday special. And friends, that's all the time we have for today. Remember, your focus determines your reality. And may the Force be with us.